Check 1, 2. Well, hello. It's Tuesday, March 11th in the afternoon. My name is Rob, aka That Developer Dad, and we're back into working on the DM's familiar today. I took yesterday off because I had some features that I just couldn't let slide for that image editor I worked on last week. And a lot of it was just me going, and frowning at my monitor as I debugged and troubleshot various things. And that does not make for a very fun stream or anything like that. So I kind of took the day yesterday to start adding the finishing touches on that. And this morning, I refamiliarized myself with the code for the DM's familiar and dealt with a couple of minor Azure issues that I was having and took care of some admin stuff and so on. And now I'm back, refamiliarized with the code base, and I've settled on what feature I want to pursue next. And that is to create a way for users of the application to edit the longer form language stuff that gets that's until now been created exclusively by the LLM. Not everybody's going to want to use AI when they're creating their random townsfolk. And sometimes the AI will spark some ideas that we want to run with and kind of edit and make our own tweaks and so on. So I want to build a way to make that possible. So without further ado, we'll bounce over to VS Code. And here's my ugly face. Hello, I'm still here. And I've created some initial structures here. Let's take a look at the open editors. Shrink that up. And this is largely going to be driven from a couple of places. I've added a new annotations namespace to gametools.framework. And it's got a single custom attribute in it called the user editable attribute. It accepts a UI label, like how it should display on screen when we build the edit form, what type of input it should use, whether or not the property decorated with the user editable can be passed to AI if it's left blank, as well as a maximum length for the user input. And the default on this is 500 right now. I might need to increase or decrease that. We'll see. And of course, just properties that expose all of these things that we set on the actual game object classes. Now, right now, we only have one. It's the Townsperson. And I'll show you how I apply that custom attribute to the full name property. And it's basically just this. I decorate the different properties on my classes that represent the game objects that we'll build with this attribute. And that is going to help the editable model builder build out an edit model for whatever types I decide to let it build. Now, I believe I've got the edit model, edit field. I've stood these structures up down in the UI because they are related to the UI. In the services, and we've got object services. We've got an editable model builder, edit field, edit model, and somewhere in here, yes, that's right. Right up here at the top of editable model builder, I've just got a private array of types that are editable, basically. So when we go to build an edit model, we pass in an instance of T. We make sure that that instance is of a type that we've designated as editable, and then on we go. So return new edit model. We do the thing. Here's this. We pass the instance into the edit model. And now I just kind of want to brainstorm with the AI how we implement this. So, good afternoon, Claude. Let's get started enabling edit mode for these townspeople. Now, I don't want to create hard-coded edit forms for townsfolk. Instead, I want to decorate properties on the data contract classes that represent the different kinds of game objects that this application manages, and will build the edit forms dynamically, because future me is grumpy. There's a proposed directory structure for C# data contract forms project. No, let's not do that. Do that. Just look at the files I've attached to this chat. And let's attach a couple more. We'll attach, it's already got the edit model. We've got the editable model builder. We need to include edit field, and we'll include townsperson. Townsperson is an example of a game object class. I've included that for reference. It's got some complex properties that also contain user editable fields. Please look at the comments in the build fields method on edit model to see what I have in mind. Sometimes Claude needs a little bit of extra coaxing, I've noticed. All right. Let's see what Claude has in mind here. Instance. Hey, over here, Mr. Robot. All right. So it's going to take a look. Property path equals string dot is null or empty. Parent path prop name is parent path dot prop name. And this is going to be a recursive thing. Fields.add range, build fields, new parent path. Okay. Oh, I'm going to let it apply that. Off you go. Keep. attr.ui label. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted either. Okay. Add new edit field. We've got the property path, get value instance. Off it goes. Now. This may not work. It's okay. We'll figure it out. Now convert from object to T. All right. Set the fields property. I've got that. Okay, now. Think we're going to need a different form of build fields for our complex properties. On line 61 there, you're trying to use the version of build fields that expects an instance of T, which the complex properties of T may not be. Additionally, the user editable attribute will likely be placed on properties of type generated property. And so traditional get set methods may not work. Go to Townsperson and go to generated property. We'll pop that open. Let it apply, and then I'm going to review its work. Keep. And we got to import that namespace. Boop. Property path is that. Now let's take a look at generated property. Okay, so we've got value. Okay. Come over to edit model, save this, and we've got a compiler warning in here somewhere. Instance. T is instance. If instance equals null. Yeah, we'll just throw at that point. I don't like throwing exceptions, but it's fine. All right, build fields, edit field, binding flags, yeah. Prop property type, generated property. Parent path, prop name. For complex types that are not generated property. New parent path, add range, yeah. Okay. This might need work. All right. Return new edit model. Okay. Save. Now, let's come up to components, pages. And we'll look at partials. View NPC details, razor. Put heading. Personality description, yeah. Okay. And let's just do a little bit of commenting. View NPC details shows the NPC in as a, come on. presentation view. After AI details have been generated. Save. NPC attributes view. Is used to roll the initial set of random attributes that are then saved or sent for AI description. The IntelliSense has gone a little bit crazy here. Okay. Let's add a button on the view NPC attributes dot razor. Go to definition. Please inspect the files attached to this request, to this prompt, to understand how we're choosing to display buttons on the UI. I want to add an edit button in the footer area of the .razor file. Let's not implement the UI for the edit form yet. Let's just get the button in place. Claude's being a little overeager this morning, and Claude isn't as instinctually effective with C# and .NET as I've observed it being with JavaScript. And I suspect that's due to training data size. That's fine, because I'm experienced with C# and .NET. Is edit button visible? On edit button click. Set controlled buttons async. Get edit button visibility. Yeah. Do I actually have a get set controlled buttons async? Set controlled. I do. Okay. Let's go boop. Let it apply that to the Razor code behind file. Keep. Save. And let's apply this to the UI file. And keep. Save. Good stuff. Let me rebuild. Run the app to make sure the new button is rendering as expected. And let's see here. This async method lacks await operators. And console.writeLine, edit button clicked. What are you doing? There. Save. Okay. We rebuild. All right, and let's run it. It's doing its thing. I'll pop this guy open. I'll sign in off screen. And it wants my fingerprint. All right, here we are. Go to NPCs. And let's go to the create view. We've got edit NPC. Beautiful. And I should have a log message somewhere down here, edit button clicked. Thing of beauty. So inside on edit button click, temporarily, let's use the, what's it called? Edit model builder here so that we can make so that we can see what it is building for us. Edit model builder. Equals a new edit model builder. Don't need to worry about that. Var edit model equals builder.build model current NPC. I'm going to put a breakpoint right there. But I have to stop and rebuild because I have materially changed the way the code works. Yeah, let's run. Close the sidebar. Reload. Here we are. Let's go to create. And we'll just roll a couple of times, see what we get. Gnome, compassionate, inquisitive, healer, was a sailor, etc. Edit NPC. All right, our current NPC, we've got all kinds of stuff on there. What do we have in the UI right now? Species gnome, she, her, hers, blah, blah, blah. Okay, groovy. Well, let's step in and see what we get. Now our instance is an NPC client model, which is not what we want. Let's stop the project, come out here, dot NPC model, save. And we'll rebuild and run. Rebuild. Run. Reload. Okay, we're back up. Commit to create. Edit and step in. See what we get. The instance is a townsperson, so that's good. And it's going to instantiate a new edit model for us. So let's step in here. Instance is good. Private T. All right. Instance equals instance. Let's step into build fields of instance. So we've got a new list of edit fields. It's going to give me my properties collection. Let's take a look. Property info, blah, 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 blah. Family name, pronouns, generated property, full name, character, appearance, vocation, background, generated property, personality description, and game stats. So let's do this. Drop a breakpoint here, and I'm just going to let her rip. Boop. That's not quite what I want to see there, but that's okay. And our property, this is our full name property. So let's see what we got. Fields.add, new edit field. Let's take a look at fields. Got one in here. Excuse me. And the UI label is full name. Property value is nothing yet. Property path is full name. It's text. We allow AI generation, and it's a string. Good. Now, complex types that aren't generated properties. This might need work for sure. Instance is not null here. Value is AI generated. What's this prop? It's int, age in years. Okay, I see what I want to do down here. I'm going to drop a breakpoint here too. So we're just going to keep running. Here we go. Value. This is a character appearance. So let's step in. So our prop is what? Come on. Prop name, integument kind. Okay, so it hasn't got any of that stuff on it. Prop is description. Our parent path is appearance. So I want to see what's going on here. So our property path is now appearance.description. And we'll just keep running. This one is character vocation. Go ahead. Goodness. Are we about to hit a big, giant, fat overflow? Yes, we are. Okay, get properties, blah, blah, blah. Fields, we've got none. All right, stop. This looks like build fields is running into an infinite loop here, plumbing into repeated sync root properties. Let's try and keep our property scan on either on explicitly declared properties on our class tree. Complex properties that have been explicitly declared in our model classes. Let's take a look at what it's got here. So I have a feeling the secret is in our binding flags here. I have to pull this all the way over so I can see it properly. Declared only. Okay. All right, that looks more sensible. So I'm going to let it apply this. We'll keep these changes, save it, and let's go ahead and rebuild. Whoops. Open editors. Rebuild. Excuses me. I gotta put my breakpoints back now. Here's that. Get rid of that one. Move you down here. Yeah, let's just run it. We will run. So my goal for today's stream is to get this edit model built for a townsperson, or at least get some output from the editable model builder. Now, I should already have a browser open with this thing. There we are. I'm going to refresh. I'm going to create, edit, and let's step in and see what we get. Go in. Let's build our fields. I'm going to come up here, set a breakpoint here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of these breakpoints that are inside the actual builder thing, because I want to see what this list of fields comes out looking like. So we're just going to hit the run button. Boom. Target parameter count exception. Not handled parameter count mismatch. What are you complaining about? Complex types that aren't generated property. So value, what's the property it's looking for? So it's obviously a string type. Prop, system.string item. What's this? Method info instance.getType. What kind of object are we dealing with? Instance.getType.name. Give me that. It's a dictionary. Let's take a look at my call stack. I feel like I'm several deep in here. Main thread. That's all external code. Kestrel timer, .NET timer, main thread. Game tools, we're several deep, I think. Yep. Okay, so here's that. Editable, here's edit model. Edit fields. Edit field, add range. That's full name. It's appearance description. Vocation description. All right. So, if property.property type is primitive, etc. If declaring type is not type of object, I'm going to need to come up to framework, and I'm going to add a new file of type class, and it is just going to be called game object. Oops, I got to rename that. My bad. Game object attribute. It's going to inherit from attribute. We'll apply the attribute usage attribute and attribute targets class. Let's add a constructor. And custom attribute to mark a class as a game object that may contain user editable properties. Boom. Now, I need to find let's just look at the open editors. Here's Townsperson. Townsperson, we are going to add the new game object. Save that. Character appearance. Game object. close that. Character vocation. Save that. Background, absolutely. Becomes a game object. Save. Now, in the editable model builder, we'll look in edit model, go to definition. Come on, you doofus. Edit model. Here we go. Now, T instance. If instance is null, aren't generated property. Let's spin down here. We only want to plumb in to the properties that are complex and their type has the game object class attribute. We can safely ignore all other complex type properties. Save that, and we ran into other weird issues with your last edit. I've introduced a new custom attribute in the GameTools.framework.annotations namespace, and I've decorated all the types that I want us to inspect when building the edit fields collection for a particular model. I've removed the complex property handling from the existing build fields code and added comments describing my intent there. Please suggest the code to implement that intention. Prop.getValue instance, game object attribute, prop type, get customer attributes of type game object. And there we go. That looks like we've got, this looks like it's going to result in some chicken dinner. Keep, save. We've got an error. Public class, game object, attribute, you silly goose. Save, gotta update the constructor. Save, build. Oh, wait, that's just save all. I gotta build. Ho, ho, ho. Open editors. Rebuild. We'll run in a second and see what's what. Now, once I'm able to get this edit model, whether it's correct or not, I just want to see it finish successfully. I'm going to call that a finished stream. I'm going to continue working on this feature after I conclude the stream. And as usual, I'll review the working result or whatever I get to tomorrow morning in my earlier stream. I am not going to continue to create a actual renderable view until I'm actually streaming through that process. But I do want to try and get as much of the model building correct so that I can stand up the necessary, so that we can start building out a dynamic edit form for the townsperson. And later, other types of game objects that I define. Excuse me. So I think we're runnable. So let's run. I'll just run down here and grab manage NPCs. And it's currently in a sleepy state. But we should be able to refresh the page. Here we go. I'll come into the create UI and hit edit NPC and hit our breakpoint where we can step in. We'll step over, step in, see what build fields does for us. We have edit fields. And I have 4 editable fields. Let's take a look. I've got, oh, what are you doing? You know what? I'm just going to pull this over here because I've got them all in the local variables window up here. Pull my breakpoints and call stack down. You can shrink. And let's take a look. I see full name. I see appearance.description. I see vocation.description. I see background description. And finally, we should see personality description. And those are the 5 editable fields that I want to let a user either fill in themselves or modify whatever comes out of the LLM. So I think we have a smashing success for this stream. That makes me quite happy. And we'll pick this project up tomorrow. What I may do, I'm not going to actually do any rendering logic, but I do want to review during the time between now and next stream. I want to review how this create NPC razor page works with the view switching, and I should show this component now versus that component now, and how to flip back and forth between those different states, so that tomorrow we'll start with a blank view, a blank component view, and we'll start wiring up and modifying these edit fields. Because right now I'm just bringing back bare minimum text area type things and so on and so forth. I'm not going to paint those fields dynamically. I'll just get some component stubs stood up and get maybe get the navigation between them rolling offline. So until then, thanks for joining me. Take care of yourselves, and remember, this is always an iterative process. I've been doing this for a long, long time, and even I, have to go back and forth between code editor and results and test and code a little, test a little, and sometimes I have to iterate towards success. Sometimes we get it right away, but that's just the nature of the beast. That's how it goes. Um, the idea is to maintain an open mind and be ready to grow and learn at any time. So until tomorrow, please take care of yourselves and